What we are doing today is we're going to go through the first episodes of all the anime that's airing this season and just having a little bit of a preview how they rate just in their first episode. Because a lot of the time, especially with anime nowadays, you get a lot of the feel from the first episode. People try to hook you and it either lands or it completely falls off. If it's S tier, then I think you should watch the anime regardless if you like anime or not. If it's A tier, it is really good, and if you watch anime at all, give it a check. S is more for people that are normies. B, it's okay. I mean, it's pretty good, but I think if you like that genre, then that is what you will like. C is, it's pretty bad, even if you do like that genre. And D is just, I really don't think it's worth your time. Also, we do tend to mess up the names of the anime a lot. We are looking at, I think, 43 different anime. This one is Togen Anki. I don't know if I'm saying that first bit right, but it plays a lot like Blue Exorcist. Anno Exorcist, basically copy and pasting the first, I think it's 1 or 2 episodes. Maybe we've gotten better at pacing, but it basically condenses that into the first episode of this. Very briefly, he's a demon or Oni child, and an organization of exorcists is out to get him. One of them is his father. Some trauma happens, and if you've watched Blue Exorcist, you can probably guess what that is, and he gets into a demon school. It wasn't bad, but the fact that it merged so closely to Blue Exorcist kind of annoyed me. Honestly, I really like the designs, especially of the demons. Oral Cigarettes with an amazing OP once again, but that's going to drop into B. That has the potential, it's just really that I've seen the story before is the only thing holding it back. Next one is Ame to Kimi to. I'm not going to remember what that is in English, but Ame is rain, so there's that. It's about a older woman who doesn't know what a dog looks like, to be honest. She adopts this tanuki, which is a magical creature. It talks to her, well, it writes to her, and she just is trying to take care of it. It's very fun, it's very cute, very slow, so maybe not what I'm looking for this season, but if you want to chill out with a pet anime, it's a decent run. It's in C. Yeah, it's in C. Detectives are crazy. Detectives can't be this crazy. Whatever it is, this detective and the child, pretty damn crazy. The main character is a expired detective. He peaked in when he was younger, kind of like a Detective Conan, but as time went on, he wasn't able to adapt. He doesn't know technology. He still relies on old detective stereotypes to operate, which are not doable. A young girl wants to intern with him. I think she's a fan.
He a fan here.
Especially of his older work, and it's just ridiculous. It's so stupid. You can't take it seriously. In the first episode, she goes and takes out a whole Yakuza den. Not serious. The less serious you take it, the more fun you'll have. I actually had a decent time with that. So I'm going to drop that into B. You could really enjoy that if you enjoyed episodic slapstick kind of thing. 9, Ruler Crown, I think that's what it's called. Definitely based on some kind of visual novel. First episode pacing was horrible. It was almost like if you played a Personas or Atlas game where you have to go to different places during the day, and some of them aren't really connected. Maybe feels a bit more lifelike. But in terms of plot, bad pacing, not too sure what's going on in the first episode. It has a hint of mysticism. I did read a little bit ahead, but I know that eventually the kids will get superpowers, but really a lot to be desired in that first episode. Dialogue was very stilted. Maybe they're trying to rip that exactly from the game, but that's a immediate C tier. Ruri Rocks. This is a very niche one, because I feel like if you like geology, this is really good. This could be your BAS tier, depending on how much you like rocks. For the normal person, I think it might be a C. It's very interesting. The university student is also very thick, and I think, that's a weird thing to say, but when you've watched the anime, they kind of put a lot of emphasis on it. But it's about a university student that is showing a younger girl how to be a geologist, or at least about rocks, because she's interested in gems and things like that. Very niche, very niche. To be honest, it is like the high end of C, so it's definitely better than the other two. Well, especially this one. But, but C? No, this is D tier. It was really bad. I think some people will still like it, but let's put it in D. Study the animation is something I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, which is a little strange because I think it's an A-tier anime. This is probably the best peer comedy out right now. You'll watch it and say, hey, this kind of looks like Nichijou. Hey, this kind of plot-wise is like Nichijou. Episodic skits, very random, great humor, and it is by the same artist. So the style is almost exactly the same expressions, the same emotive attitude, the same dramatic effects to everything. It's basically Nichijou 2 with a new lick of paint. It's modern. I quite enjoyed episode 1. It's not normally my go-to. Speaking about strange animation, because this has a unique style, basically clip art paint PowerPoint where they've taken the manga and slowly moved it around, like dragged it slightly frame by frame. So calling it an anime is a bit of a stretch, but if you've watched my Lockdown Level X video, you know I don't really care about animation as long as it can convey the story really well. They're only about 10 minutes each. I actually think it might be interesting and a good taste to it. You might be better off just reading the manga. But if you like sound and voice actors, it's not bad. Go into it knowing that the animation is non-existent and you might have a good time. Honestly, I really did like that more than I thought I would. TLDR, it's called My Broken Saintess. I don't think I said what it was called. And it is about a saintess at a healing, let's say, sanctuary, and she gets betrayed by her friend who then marries her love interest. Very villainous saintessy things. She goes off the end and she's going to use her second hidden power to torture people. That sounds a lot more dark, but it's oh gosh, a kanebutsu, kabu, I don't remember. And mostly because it left a horrible impact. It's been the end of the world, there's dystopian future, there's trauma, and the girls go in and save people by singing. It was very hard to watch. Not just for the very weird and broad storyline, but also because the CGI is horrific. It's just not a good place to be. The music also, which I find sometimes is the redeeming factor in some of these, music was not great, or at least to my taste. Next, we have lesbians. What is this called? I Can Change Your Mind? I Can Date You? We Can Date. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on this one completely. Whenever I don't remember a name, I keep thinking Watanari or Watari, which is one that's coming off now. I don't know why I default to that on this at the moment. But Watari's Lesbians is about a girl who's very awkward. She goes to a new high school and she wants to make a difference in her life. She wants to be that cool, proud girl, so she joins a friend group and she tries to get close to the blonde girl who is an actress model. No, she's just a model. And it's fun, it's okay. But this model person really takes a liking to her. And she's like, let's go out. I'd love to do that. The pink-haired girl is just getting used to being around people, let alone dating. So she says no. She gets rejected and she just wants to date the pink-haired girl more. So they decide to do days as friends and days as girlfriends. And it goes on and off because the blonde girl wants to convince her that she can be her girlfriend. Its animation's decent, and I enjoyed the first episode. I mean, it's stock standard. If that feels like it might be a thing going to be, I don't know if it'll be a harem, but it could be. It very much could be. Night of the Living Cat. It's Night of the Living Dead, i.e. zombies with cats. Basically, there's a cat apocalypse where cats get a virus, think pandemic vibes, and then if you get touched, bitten, scratched by a cat, you turn into a cat and you join the side of the cats. It's very gimmicky. I don't think the story's gonna be good because the characters are also a bit flat. It's really just funny and gimmicky. When the cats come, there's metal music playing. It's very much played up zombie stuff. I love this kind of thing. And if it was on my personal choice, I might put it in B tier, but it's just falling a bit short. Game Center Girl, Game Shoujo, is an anime which in all right should be in C tier because of animation and some very episodic elements which I'm not always a fan of. But It's so damn cute. It's a romance between the two characters that you see on the poster. She's a transfer student from Britain. It's not just that she's speaking English, she's very British. I've never heard a Japanese put a British accent on.
Bloody hell.
And understood that it was a British accent. The English is so cute. I normally have a big issue with it. Well, not a big issue with it, but it can be very distracting, but it points to a big part of this narrative. The whole thing is that they can't communicate and he accidentally rizzes her and asks her out. It's very cute. Goes into B, I'd check it out. I can't wait to make a short on that. I haven't managed to do one yet. Dating my sister's ex-husband. That title is bait because it's not as bad as it sounds. It is almost another villainess style story, except it more focuses on abuse. So if you think of My Happy Marriage, kind of like there, she's mistreated by her noble family and her husband treats her well, or her fiance treats her well. I'm not going to spoil too much there, but just note it's not exactly what it seems. Props also for having basically an Indian male lead. I don't think I know any love interests that are Indian. Obviously, he's not exactly Indian, but the culture that he's from is obviously based on Hinduism or India, culturally. It's been a while since I've watched this, but I think what I'm saying is correct. The Water Magician. This is an isekai slow burn. Is it isekai? Yes, it is an isekai, but it's a slow burn isekai. It kind of has the start of Mushoku Tensei in the sense that it really fleshes out the magic system first. It's very slow, it's very deliberate. Music's very nice and it's very pretty, but not a lot happens in the first 2 episodes, which is very transparently what I've watched so far. But I think it's building up to a really big story. I would watch this if you were interested in, let's say, Frieren. I'm saying that because of pacing and just magic. It's a great fantasy for the season. I do think we'll have to see by episode 3 if it's going to continue on the slow pace, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. Next, this is New Saga. Wow, I'm actually getting the names to some degree. New Saga it's not an isekai, it's one where you go back in time. I don't want to say transmutation because I have been getting some of the phrases confused. But basically, the Demon Lord wiped out 90% of humanity, and the hero's party, as well as like the rest of humanity, defeat him. And the last standing hero takes the prize, a magical artifact that he has, and it transports him back to before the demons revolted. Yeah, the plot's very stock standard. Animation's pretty good, but what I like about it is that it kind of pulls you into a mystery about why the Demon Lord wanted to go back in time, because you're required to sacrifice a lot of souls, which is obviously why he started the war. And I want to know about that. The main character tries to focus on obviously his friends and family and preventing the war with what he knows, but I want to know more about the Demon Lord. And drop that into B, very low B, but a B nonetheless. Shy Hero, Assassin Princesses, is about being in a party where everyone just wants to kill him. All of his group members have some various reason on why they want to kill him, but they find him very cute and sweet. So they ended up being a happy party. While they occasionally tried to off him. But he's too OP, he can't be offed. Gimmicky, pretty funny. I actually think it'll go pretty far. He doesn't speak much. It's cute. This is the most bland left S rank that this season. I was going to say that I've ever seen, but that's probably not true. I can't say anything. He just gets kicked out of the S rank party. He's a healer. He's a white healer. If you know Final Fantasy kind of things, I'm not trying to be Hulk Hogan there. Yeah, C is generous. It's a low C. It's not that the animation or anything's just bad. It just feels like really nothing actually happens. Oh, May rains give way to June flowers, something like that. It's a romance this season, and I'm gonna put it straight in a B tier. It's a good romance so far, but what it really tries to do is highlight someone who considers herself B to C tier in terms of looks. She's not confident. She doesn't think she'll have that very cute shoujo romance, but the most popular guy in class kind of says hello, how's it going? It's nice, but it's good to see a difference in characters. I'm kind of curious if she'll ever get any confidence, but I mean, that's part of the journey, and that's great seeing someone start off and where they get to. Hell Teacher Nube, old anime, it's got a new style, new paint. I really like that we are bringing back some older stories, because just because they're old doesn't mean that they're bad. And putting them in modern standard animation. I was really happy with how this was animated. I want to put it in A, but it's not really quite there. Basically, the teacher is exorcist as well, and he just does supernatural stuff around the school and makes sure his students are safe. I think this has a lot of potential to rise out of B, but for now, B tier. Watanari, one of the two. And then the word XX is censored, so let's just put the word P. This one is very, very briefly about two childhood friends that get reunited, and he obsesses over his sister for some reason. We don't know why, but he leaves school early, doesn't do activities, just goes straight home to look after his sister. When they were younger, this girl apparently destroyed his garden, and it's left him with some, I'm not going to say PTSD, but he doesnn't like her because of it, and then she disappeared. A little bit of mystery around there, but not a lot. What I really think is jarring is that when you watch this anime, the colors are really bright. They're almost like deep fried, saturated. It's very strange, and it kind of hurted my eyes for a bit. Goes into C. I still don't know what's happening. No one does. It doesn't really give you much to go off. Bad Girl. This one is about a younger person straight into high school, and she likes the prefect / school counselor, school president, school council person. And to get her attention, she pretends to be a bad girl. What that looks like is her like putting staples in her hair, like weird things on her ears as earrings. It's fun, cute, and the second Yuri show this season. Nothing bad about it, it's kind of cute. Her friend also has a crush on her. Fun. Lord of Mysteries, which I'm not saying the Japanese title, because you might be here all night. I have a short coming out on it. Is very cool. It's a Chinese animation. I know some of you purists won't like that I've included it here, but it is fun. And I consider it anime. There's a few that might not fall under it directly here, but in terms of what we're going for this season, I'm watching this. Animation's a bit janky, and I think a lot of people might have issue with me saying that because it is very pretty and it's very gorgeous, but there's points where the 3D and the 2D don't mesh completely. I've seen them do it better in King's Avatar and a few other Chinese styled anime. It could do a little bit better. I love the theme of Victorian England and Eldritch horrors. It feels like it's straight out of Bloodborne. In fact, the first scene feels very Bloodborne-esque, which is why it goes straight into A, because Bloodborne's the best game ever made. Complaints? Chinese stories, and even some Korean ones, I find, they overcomplicate things very quickly with exposition. They just explain a lot of systems, a lot of things in the world that have no real meaning, and the terminology doesn't always make sense. Maybe it's not because I follow that genre religiously, but I think there could be better ways of communicating some of the aspects. It rounds out by the end of the episode, but good. Overall, really good. A tier, baby. Beyond the Mole. That's what this is. Two university students bump into a person that can't die. He's a mystical spirit thing, and he basically has to steal other people's souls or parts of it to stay alive. It's not bad. I just really don't like their faces. The style puts me off, and sometimes that's enough to put things out of there, to be honest. Welcome to the Outcast Restaurant. This is another S-ranker being kicked out of their party, so that's a chalk standard sailor. They do it better than this stupid thing. I don't think if I named that. Enjoyable, very cool. Not very cool. It was enjoyable though. The food animation's great. He's the S-rank party's cook, and obviously he's buffing them with the cool stuff he cooks and all the other stuff he does. Not that they'll notice now, but maybe in a few fights down the line. And he starts his own restaurant. In anime fashion, he gets an enslaved girl and makes her his waitress. And I think I've heard that the second episode's suddenly very not good. I'm trying to think of family-friendly words. I haven't watched it yet, so I can't really comment it. So if you do think about checking that out, maybe bear that in the back of your mind. The Silent Witch. So we have the Water Magician and the Silent Witch. A tier. Animation's gorgeous. Out of all of these, I'm actually currently going to put that there. I've seen the first three episodes, so maybe that's a bit of a bias, but it's really good. The animation's fantastic. It's almost like Bocchi the Rock if she was a witch. In their country, there are 7 strong sages. She's the youngest and the most reclusive because she hates people. She doesn't hate people. She hates talking. So she invents a way that she can do spells without verbalizing them. Very cool. Very fun. Animation's good. And yeah, it's just very cute. I'd check out the first episode. She toes the line between being a mess and being a master mage perfectly. She gets given a mission and she needs to somehow get over her anxiety to make it work. Tokopi's original sin is a controversial one. I'm going to be dead honest here. This is young kids being abused. And if you struggle with abuse, bullying, and some of those other fun teenage things, it might be a hard miss for you because it's very raw. Basically, some of these kids are going through preteen abuse to the max. I'm trying not to spoil it too much as well. And an alien called Tokopi from Happy Planet or Happy whatever comes down and tries to help them because that's what he does. He spreads the love, he spreads the happiness, and inadvertently he makes things worse and sometimes better. And he just tries to keep fixing on his mistake to try and make these kids happy. There are a lot of warnings when you start the anime saying this is not for the faint of heart. So far it's bittersweet. Yeah. Animation, amazing. This comes with that warning earlier, so don't go into it half-hearted, but this is the first S tier this season. This is really good. First episode's 40 minutes. There's only going to be 6 episodes and we're on 4 at the moment, so that's even going to be done quite soon. Necronomicon and the Horror Show. Basically, the gods or aliens, it's not really that clear, have taken interest in VTubers because they're just like us, and they put them in Squid Games because that sounds entertaining to them. It's very weird animation, very strange style, very colorful, straight into C tier. It might be able to go into B, but it's going to have to put in some work because it's very on the surface. Also, the graphics in the first episode really upset me. It was gross. Isekai, something, conquering the world, more or less, is very confusing because it should by all rights be a B tier. It's an isekai where he gets transported into a different fantasy world and he gets put there with one of his favorite characters from the game he used to play. It's very Civ-like, so he basically founds his own nation and grows it in some way. It uses the same systems as the game he played, so he's familiar with it with his familiar or colleague, friend, woman. It's kind of a cross between Slime, reincarnated as a slime, and a cross between Overlord, let's say. I've been most looking forward to watching this one because this is... it's so easy to watch. It's like McDonald's. It should be in B tier. It's an A tier. Animation's not fantastic. Characters are cool. I don't know what it is about it, but I can't stop watching that. I think most people might disagree with me there. Gachiakuta. This is Dead Man Wonderland. And you can see I'm hundreding A, so I'm not going to bait you anymore with that, but that is an A title. So interesting. Probably one of the uniquest settings this season. It's so hard to explain. Just watch the short on it. I'll put some images on the screen, but it's about trash. Kind of has a Dead Man Wonderland setup, and maybe I shouldn't be comparing everything to old anime like I did with Togen Anki. Interesting, fun, raw emotions, very edgy, but enjoyable. Check it out. What is his name? I always forget it. The fragrant flower blooms with dignity. I think I got that right. This is the best romance of the season. Why am I saying that? Not because I saw it from the first episode, but that's what everyone's telling me. And you can't really tell a lot from romances from the first episode, to be fair. You can see the production quality is really good. A lot of people are watching this because it is on Netflix, a little bit more accessible to your average person. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's basically about forbidden romance between someone who goes to a normal school or a delinquent school and someone who goes to a private school. So you can take a guess who that is based on their appearances. It's cute, it's fun. It's your sweet throw-up romance of the season. I don't have a problem with romance. Just putting it out there. In Hotel Inhumans, this one is like if the concierges from John Wick had their own show. It focuses around a hotel for assassins, and they fulfill requests of the assassins to make sure they are happy. First episode was interesting, but I do feel like there were a lot of plot holes in the episode. So writing wise, I'm not too impressed. It's good though. It's okay though. It's watchable. This is very annoying because I kind of want to see what's coming up. That's fine. Better that you see this screen. Omyo Rebirth is basically a throw-up of lots of things put together. This is mecha, this is fantasy, this is time travel, there's Ray Zero Death by Rebirth, there's a lot going on here. And it's a mush, a very awkward mush. I don't want to say too much more because I think maybe I need to watch the second episode. Very briefly, well, if you are curious about what it's about, a delinquent gets teleported into the future, I think, into advanced technology, and he's there to meet his girl of his dreams, who seems to be the middle of a political plot. She doesn't know who he is, even though she sees her in his dreams. It's very strange, straight up. Next we have Booty Man, ugly face, strong fighter. This is the ugly bastard tag that has been moved into an anime. A little bit friendlier though. Basically the premises is he isekais himself, and that sounds a bit strange, but he does a ritual to go into a different world, and when he gets the prompts about what his character should be like, he discovers that if he makes his character really ugly with really bad passives, then he gets lots of extra points because he's at a disadvantage. So he decides to make his character like minus 300 looks, and he gets 1 trillion points or to spend in each stat. So his health is like at 1 trillion points, his attacks is at 1 trillion points, dexterity, magic, intelligence, etc., etc. And he's just OP. I think his title is Almighty God, but he does have 10% of his HP disappear every time he touches a woman. So it's all about what you got to trade up in life. It's watchable. It's a bit more towards the trash side, but it's fun. It's a fun time. This one felt like I was being advertised to not very discreetly. It's about two girls who don't look like they'd be friends at school, but meet each other in the food court and just yap for 20 minutes. It feels like a podcast really, with sponsored brands. I mean, while they're there, they eat KFC, and I did go and eat KFC after watching it because it awoke something in me. So the marketing works. And there was also Baskin Robbins in the first episode. So yeah, I don't think I'll watch more. I think it is a shorter anime, like there's only 5 or 6 episodes. So maybe I'll just finish it because I started it, but it feels strange. Royal Ferment? Royal. This is Food Wars for mass nerds. Basically, the main character in blue hair, he failed his mass Olympiad and he's going to drop out of school. It's not that deep, but he does, because he based a lot of his self-worth on it, and especially the school, because that's the basis for his scholarship. Realizes he can use his good math skills to cook good food. Interesting. It would maybe go into C tier. I thought the animation was pretty bad, but if you like food and stuff, it might be worth your time. So let's put it in B, maybe lower tier of B, but that's what it is. Clever Tuss. I want to put this in S tier. I really do, but I think it is an A tier title. It's a 40-minute long episode, and what I like the most about it is that it takes fantasy and changes it a lot. There are very little tropes that it takes from. I'm even thinking, look, 60 to 80 years ago, J.R.R. Tolkien decided elves look like this, dwarves look like this, they're proficient in magic, under the ground, etc., etc. Oh, look, an ogre, a dragon. This kind of takes those, especially humanoid species, and plays a lot with them. So the elvish, they're not even elvish, but the kind of elvish race, they are good at smithing. And the dwarfish race does something else completely. I can't even remember. But I like that they're not relying on old stereotypes and what we've come to really think about fantasy. The first episode's really interesting, and I think it's going to go really cool places. I did watch the second episode. It got very hectic out of nowhere, but I'm still really enjoying that. This is like the topper end of A tier. By Gachakuta and the Water Magician. Very cool. Solo Camping for 2 is about an older guy who enjoys his time by himself, and then someone just ruins that because she doesn't know how to camp, and without him she would die. He decides to teach her how to do stuff because she cooks very well. They can just get married. Goes into C tier. Yes, teaching the Duke's daughter. She is very bad at magic, so they enlist someone who is very good at magic but failed their exams to come and teach her. It felt like there was almost nothing in the first episode, so it has potential. Like it's a clean slate, but it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. Milky Subway is cute. It's only 3 minutes, which I tend to enjoy watching because it's short, palatable. CGI the CGI animation pretty good. It goes into C tier. It's about the first episode's about aliens doing their civic duty after doing some kind of crime. So there we go. Getting harder and harder to place things. We only have 4 left. Milia something. This is the second last thing I watched. I watched it this morning. This is really bad. It's really bad because when you watch 43 anime, by the time you get to 42, 43, you're kind of rethinking some of your life decisions. And I almost stopped watching this one right off the bat because she runs into the classroom full of people and they're playing music. They stop and they look at her because they expect her to do something. She screams and then runs out the classroom. It's very cringe, it's very awkward, and it almost made me throw the whole computer away. It's about the main character who is a little bit awkward, finding friends through singing, and she makes her own a cappella kind of group, at least from what I've gauged in the first episode. I didn't have the attention span for it. Damn you, TikTok. Turkey is wild, and I'll preemptively put it on C for space, but Turkey is about a bowling club, hence Turkey, strike Turkey, about a Japanese bowling club of 5 people that gets isekai to Warring Kingdoms, China. What they plan to do there, I don't know. That doesn't even happen in the first episode. They just get, did I say isekai? Well, they get, transported is probably more accurate because no one dies, into China. Only the transporting part happens in the first episode after some teenage drama. So I read the blurb and found out that they go to China. I just don't know what's going to happen now. It's very strange. But I'm keen. I really hope it goes to B tier or higher. The Madonna sisters, the the sisters are all really good at 3 different pillars of school life. So the one in blue hair is the actress, the one in orange hair is a martial arts expert, and does this look more solid? Yes, it does. Cool. The last one is just an academic genius, and they live with the redhead boy right at the back where he comes. Kind of brings them some stability in their life. He is the son of the most famous actor that ever lived, and he's just not unique in any way. And he gets them to chill out a bit. And I'm sure they'll fall in love with him because they find that stuff so hot. That is a B tier. It's interesting. The summer Hikaru died. Another Netflix anime, and the best thing in my opinion that's airing this season. I didn't order those, so I'm kind of glad it kind of has dramatic effect being like that. But that is the best thing that is airing this season, at least in my opinion, because this ticks all my boxes. I love psychological horrors. I love suspense. And animes just tend to not do that very well at all. I think it's very hard to make things serious and make you scared, especially with some light colors and expressive things that happen in the anime style. The summer Hikaru died does it so well. I'm getting Higurashi when they cry flashbacks. I was so tense for a lot of this anime. I don't want to tell you what it's about. It's scary. Go watch it. It's so much fun. You can make your call in the first 5 minutes if it's good, but if you give it the whole episode, that ending of episode 1 is shivers. It's great. Watch that. Last thing on the list, and the last thing I watched this morning out of this everything, is Let's Go Karaoke. And it's about a Yakuza member who is very desperate to get taught how to sing properly so he can impress his boss, so that his boss doesn't torture him. So he finds a kid who's a bit nervous and gets him to teach him how to sing. The reason he picks him out is because he goes to a choir, and the Yakuza guy just went and watched it and he was like, that is my guy. That is going to teach me how to sing. It's weirdly wholesome because the Yakuza guy teaches him how to live more confidently, and yeah, it's cute. It's very cute. Watch the first episode. It's pretty funny. This is your anime season, or at least what I see at the moment. I'm pretty happy with this list, but this is a stacked season. This doesn't even include the sequels that we are watching. There is a lot to watch right now, and sometimes it is a bit overwhelming, but pick what you like. If you have the time, try out some new stuff. Thanks for jumping with me. I'm keen to get streaming again, especially with anime-related stuff. There are a lot of changes happening on the channel, but I will be announcing that very soon. Thanks for popping in if you did. I'll see you next time. Cheers.